So, what up, what up, what up? How you guys doing today? It's your boy, DJ More Life, aka Elvis Duo. And today's segment, I will be talking about why I think the sports world has to be modified. It's the end of physical sports. When I say physical sports, right, I mean, people physically getting together and playing the game of basketball or the game of football or soccer or any sport physically. As you know, technology, right, has advanced so much that it has infused, embedded into sports, which allowing video games, the games that we play in the comfort of our own home, it allows that for people to be able to play and connect to people around the world. Virtual reality allows sports to be played virtually, but yet it still counts as if it's physical. And physical, right, is getting harder because there's so much restrictions. There's so much viruses, different mutations of viruses around the globe. And so that changes the way sports is becoming. And now we have, the metaverse. We have optical lens where you connect to and you can play sports, any type of sports, whether it's boxing, whether it's soccer, football, basketball, tennis, any type of sports that you used to physically play with people, or you had to go to a field or a gym or a facility of any sort that suits the appropriate sport, now could be modified inside your home, to your living room, to your room, to a spot that is, empty and clear because of the virtual reality of connectivity. Because we realize what we have in common with physical play is the mind. And if the mind can experience the same kind of effect and movement as physical play virtually, then you can virtually move the sports to, being able to connect to people around the world. The remote world is virtual. I mean, people are able to connect and then play any team sports. And so when that is happening, that means the focus, because in order for anything to be really popular, it has to be what? Agreed by the majority of the people. And we all know video games help everybody. You see what I'm saying? It helps doctors, physicians to sort of have a better, handle in cutting and execution in their surgeries. It helps people to think better, to ration, to calculate, in every which way how different types of video games of virtual reality helps people. It's moving towards accepting less physical movement and more mental movement. So you can play this game physically, but nobody's there, and virtually you can go there with your mind. And so that is the new metaverse. And with the metaverse, right, it's not only going to be gameplay where you're physically using your hands. You're going to just put on some shades of some sorts. And I know it's going to vary because companies are going to jump on this. If they don't jump on it, all the big tech companies are going to have their own optical lens. They're going to have their own virtual reality setting and organization, because that's the next competition. That's the next wave where you can get millions of people to join your platforms overnight, right? And so what happens is it allows, people to save on travel because you can actually have an actual game, right? I think it's unique in some ways because for, this presents a new opportunity for those who want to play in the NBA but never got the chance to, or they didn't make it. Because now you can get a chance to be on, let's say, LeBron's team, or, KD's team, or, you know, Ronaldo's team, or Ronaldinho. Any of those soccer legends or any sports, you can be on their team virtually, but yet it's a serious, intense team. And so what happens is virtual reality will take over physical reality because of the advancement. And of course, look at this. We have phones. These phones came out, and now we have touch screen. We have what's it called? Projection, where you can use your phone to project and you can type and do phone calling, video calling, all of these things. They start off little by little, but now it seems to me majority of the people in the world have cell phones. They have devices. And these devices allow them to connect to people around the world. And so, look at all these things that's happening with sports. People have to travel. What's it called? You have to set this. You have to take this test in order for you to be able to sit there and watch sports game. It's not so fun watching sports game really anymore from, a physical perspective because things have changed, right? You have to wear a mask. Now, if you went to a game that was 2 hours, right? You tell me how much, right? How many times would you want to put on your mask, right? You can't really get up. You can't cheer. Like, it's just so calm to the point that it's best you just save your money, stay home, and you'll be better off, right? Playing virtual games. Take, for example, PS5. The graphics are unique. The connectivity is better. People are playing online betting games. They're doing all kinds of things in the virtual side. There's so many people that play competitive virtual games and makes a living, a professional living. Some of them even make more money than those who play physical professional sports. And so it's going to move to that, where soon you're just going to wear a bodysuit and shades and you'll be playing a game. All you need is to basically have a surrounding of space and you'll be playing a game. You'll be playing physical, right, with optical lens, but at the same time, you are being broadcasted around the world so people will know who you are, even though you're in your living room. And so that's how far sports is going, to the point that people are going to focus on that because they're going to realize it's going to be too expensive to put precautions into place for those physical fans, right? They're going to try to push them virtual because virtual reality is where everything is. And you see, even Elon Musk was talking in his interview. He's saying, we're all going to eventually move to universal basic income because the jobs are going to be taken over by robots. So you tell me, what is the humans going to do? Right? Because the virus, because of that, hockey's postponed. I mean, if this continues, all the other sports are going to be postponed. And I guarantee you, the sports industry have lost a lot of money because of the capacity of play, because of the refund of tickets, and of course of the changes of the virus. There's viruses mutating, changing as soon as you get a serum, change. So things have drastically changed. We're 3 years now into the virus, and that changed sports completely. And so I think this is vastly going virtually. That NBA will one day be played virtually, right? Nationwide, virtually. People getting paid to play, but this time you don't have to physically be good. You can just be good virtually and good enough to play in the NBA virtually, not physically, because then size won't matter because you can create your character and you can change. You can diversify because that's what it's going on. And in the metaverse, you can change. You can change to the height that you want, the speed, the strength, right? And obviously, there's going to be things that you have to purchase, but in reality, if you can do all these things, then you can always be able to fit in. And so physically, you might be too short to play in the NBA, or you're physically too slow to play football or soccer, right? You just don't have the discipline. You love the sport so much. You're very good at playing physically with your video games. But when it comes to physical play, you're not that good. But virtual play, you're excellent. You see what I'm saying? So that opens up a lot of avenues for a lot of people, which helps in many ways because robots take over, physical sports will be finished. I know there's lots of people. I myself used to play a lot of sports. I love playing sports. I think it teaches you a lot. But video games has now started to teach more. Physically, you have to stay active. If you're not active, you can develop a lot of viruses, diseases. But if the demand goes virtual, then physical play won't be interesting because people are not going to spend the money for that. And if they're not going to spend the money, then you can almost guarantee that the sports world will go bankrupt physically. And they would have to also modify and adjust to the times if they want to keep relevant. And that's one of the major situations at hand, right? Physically, if you're physically playing virtual sports, you're not going to get hurt, right? It hasn't, they're probably going to make suits with vibrators. So like if you play and you tackle or you foul or something like that, you will feel the vibrations. So that will be the impact. And so the change of impact will be to the degree of the level that you're playing at. So if you're playing on amateur, your impact, it won't be that drastic. But if you're playing on pro, the impact could be very drastic. You see what I'm saying? And so that is a lot better than, any sports injury or anything like that. So think about it. Think about what I've been saying for the past almost 14 minutes and let me know what you guys think, right? Let me know what you guys think of this sports, because is sports going to emerge? Do you think maybe they'll start having robots play? Because robotic humans, right? They have the first robotic human that they created. I'm pretty sure they're going to make a lot more, and I'm pretty sure they will be able to grow faster and vastly and live longer than us humans, because of the technology that has, infused in society today. So let me know what you guys think, because sports is important. It helps to achieve, to understand, to learn. so many ways. But physical sports, I think, is going to take a back bench pretty soon because of all these mandates, all these mutational viruses. It's too complicated. You know what I mean? There's still people trying to make it to the league, trying to make it to any sports world professionally, but it is becoming too difficult simply because of the mandates, simply because of the restrictions that are put in place. So if they move everything to to virtual, then you gain more chances because you could be 40 years old, you could be 50 years old, and you could still play, right? 60 years old, you can still play in a professional league virtually. And it will be as important as a physical league, if not even more important. Sports is good, but you need a better option, right? And majority of the people, right, they always love video games. Even you see professional sports player playing video games, right? They're very good. So you let me know what you guys think. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the segment. Have a nice night, and thank you. Subscribe, like, share, comment on all my content, right? Look out for my latest track that is coming out soon, you know what I mean? And let me know. Thank you. Peace out. Bye now.